Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Jim Himes of Connecticut. He's a ranking member, meaning the top Democrat, on the House Intelligence Committee. So where were you when you heard about this? This is one of those shaking moments in Washington.
It's been a couple of days, right? So Save the Children and AmeriCares are two global aid organizations that are feeding children, addressing AIDS, inoculating refugees all over the world. Spent much of the weekend on the phone with them because they had to shut everything down. Now, maybe you don't care about that, right? Maybe you care more about the fact that I'm trying to build 2 bridges in my district, one in Greenwich and one in Bridgeport. Those processes have been shut down. My district was badly hurt on 9/11. We're probably more sensitive to terrorism than most districts. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. We lost dozens of people. For a brief period over the weekend, the people that we were paying to guard the ISIS refugee camps in Syria, these are camps that have battle-hardened ISIS terrorists. The guys were walking off the job from guarding these guys because they weren't getting paid. So, I'm in D.C. I hear, he's a disruptor. Isn't that great? No, there's elements of the federal government that could use a little disruption. But what you see right now is wholesale stupid brutality.
And so federal judge got in there, stopped it early, but it's not over. It wasn't the definitive ruling stopping this at this point.
Yeah, and look, like everything else, like the 14th Amendment, I'm not a lawyer, but you know what? I did do 6th grade civics class. And if you did 6th grade civics class, you know that the Congress has the power of the purse. But, the Trump administration will fight this out, and it'll get delayed, and a lot of people will get hurt, and eventually the courts, maybe it'll be the Supreme Court, is going to say, no, it's not constitutional. 14th Amendment, not a lawyer, but I can read the language of the 14th Amendment. All of these things are going to get litigated. We hope that the courts move fast because, again, there's a lot of MAGA people out there saying, oh, well, this is what he promised to do. He promised to disrupt something. Now the American people are getting a little bit of a taste of what it means to disrupt energy assistance in the wintertime. Imagine if you're in North Dakota right now and you were wondering whether you should buy that, load of fuel, what it means to disrupt food stamps, what it means to disrupt the protections against terrorism abroad. It's just, America's getting a little taste of MAGA disruption right now.
Meanwhile, all of Medicaid in all 50 states gets shut down today, and they're claiming, the White House seems to be claiming, oh, no, Medicaid's not part of this.
Yeah, well, they seem to be claiming that, and, it's the classic Trump thing. We saw this in term 1. It is, a perfect mixture of brutality with incompetence. Because, again, if you read that memo, you see they didn't want to touch Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid, presumably. But, yeah, and again, what's Medicaid doing in this country? Medicaid is providing health insurance to tens of millions of very vulnerable people. But, hey, we're disrupting it. That's what we asked for, and that's what's happening right now.
Well, Medicaid is also paying for nursing home care, probably for some members of Donald Trump's club in Florida who have managed to hide the assets of their mothers in such a way that qualify them for Medicaid in nursing homes. It's a huge payer for nursing homes.
And I hate to put it in these terms, you may be right about that, but, this is so broad brush that a lot of deeply red areas are going to get hit. Farmers right now, farmers that produce the food that we eat, not only are they losing all their laborers, and that's a whole other conversation, but, the brutal enforcement that we're about to see is going to basically harm our farmers. Not a lot of farmers voting Democrat these days. It's going to hurt everybody. It's going to hurt. And by the way, I heard Speaker Johnson say, I totally support these spending cuts. I represent Connecticut, one of the wealthiest states in the country. Louisiana, not one of the wealthiest states in the country. So the Speaker, who was elected by people who are being brutalized by this right now, is saying this is just fine.
Congressman Jim Himes, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll be right back.